And we're back.
We back at it, man. More technical difficulties, but we good. So,
It wasn't no technical difficulty. We got a commercial coming out.
Yeah.
We got sponsors coming in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We just had a lot of live feeding, a lot of emails. You know
For sure.
what I'm
I had to
saying?
get y'all comfortable with that because soon we're gonna have paid partnerships and
Yeah,
stuff.
so then you're gonna see them cutting editing. They're gonna be in like Mike Tyson editing, cut his
Yeah.
commercials in.
Yeah.
They're gonna
For
be
sure,
their
for
commercials
sure.
in there.
I'm telling you. Yeah. So, Pearl, let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
What do you bring to the world, man?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Going back to, I would say, man, a stability, a balance. I'm not gonna say stability. I'm gonna say stability. I'm gonna say a balance. This guy told me the other day, man. He said, when you have negative energy, you have positive energy. You put it together, it's a charge, regardless. So you need one with the other for that charge. You know. So that goes to what is that? Cause and effect type of thing as well.
Yeah.
So I would say, man, going from my mother being a foreigner, not knowing too much English early on, being oversold stuff in stores and stuff like that, and seeing that. So what do I bring? So that's me not overselling, me not over pushing, not me looking at a person as a dollar. Not being stronger than other people, you know what I'm saying, not beating them up, or if I'm smarter than someone or they're smarter than me, there's always a balance to where it's like we don't show each other up. So I would say at that point, my mother taught me to be even, you know, like winning isn't everything,
Absolutely.
you know, and especially in basketball, we was losing a lot. So, Frenchie, appreciate a lot of those losses, but yeah. So I think that let me realize that, you know, even after those losses, whether it be sports or life, we all get to laugh. We all get to have that moment to still enjoy after that period of time. So what do I bring? I would say a balance to it. I guess because you're fighting. I'm fighting a lot of it as well too. You know. Personally, spiritually, mentally, still fighting. Again, like I said, when I left DC to go to Florida for college, my mentality was still here. So, you know, it still wavers, but so I would say balance for the most part. And when I leave this motherfucker, my goal is to have enough resources for enough folks to create their own community. I'll say that.
I like that.
Yeah. You can get some more.
No, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
We can take a break, man. Man, we can pause this on
I'm cool. You know, I bring mine.
Let me clear my throat. You know, I cleared it. I'm good now. I'm good to go. Let's get to it.
Alright.
I got a question, because you seem like a very like your mind isn't too limited like a lot of people, right? What's one of the most like mind-opening experiences that you've had in your life?
Mind opening. There's a saying that say it's easier to guide a young kid than fix a broken man or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think having my son and noticing where you push the gas and brake pedal on that, because it goes back to, again, belief in love or belief in progression of him. So that balance right there. I'm sorry, what was your question?
No, like your most like.
Oh, that moment.
Yeah,
So I would say
experience.
I would say all those as he grows up, all of them as one, because it's not one's particular time. Because as he gets older, I'm noticing he's his own man as well.
Yeah.
And they have their personality. So I would say him growing up. And I have, damn it, I'm about to share. So, because I don't want this is going to be live. So listen. And my 7-year-old too, my boy. So seeing the progression without breaking them are like cool times. Because I remember mine wasn't as pleasant as I'm feeling with them.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would say a consistency in that, because if not, man, that's just one day. I'm still here. So I would say those are a collective of moments, just noticing
I
that.
feel that. Yeah.
You're going to get it too.
Yeah.
Nah, that's
Especially
already,
when,
man.
especially when you're something about this tall. And
Yeah.
like, Daddy.
Looking down on you like, hold up. I'm still your father, boy. You know what I'm saying?
No, but I mean, I feel like that's becoming a father for me, which is one of the most. I don't like
You're not
changing.
done. You know you're not done.
Hell no, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Watch
Yeah.
me, you got to buy him his car.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that. That's why I be in a rush. I'm trying to get to it. I need to buy him a car, get him through college if that's what he chooses to do.
Nice little shave and everything.
Yeah.
You got to give him a little Spider-Man kit with nothing on it.
Hey, but I gotta teach him early, cause listen, I learned how to shave in prison. You hear me? I don't want him to start learning stuff too late. Man, my dad could have taught me
Well, I'm
that.
glad you're here with us
No
now
question,
to show him
no
outside.
question,
of
man.
it.
No,
Yes,
no
sir.
question.
Yeah, man.
It's perfect timing, man. Yeah, man. So, you know, you can look at your accomplishments, you can look at your life, you can look at so many things. But if you reflect on the things, what can you say, man? If somebody touched you, like in the sense of impacting your life, who would that person be that impacted your life?
I would say 3 people.
Mm.
3 people. One being my grandmother, my mom's mom,
Abuelita.
and my mom,
Mhm.
and this professor named Mrs. Edwards.
Mrs. Edwards, okay.
Yeah, so as you know, this country, man, they have the English language and the origin of all of that and all that. So, you know, growing up in certain sites, different cities, you know, the education isn't as prominent. You know what I'm saying? And so I noticed a lot of places where we went, a lot of people didn't distinguish us from the way we said certain English words. You know, like what was the example? Like, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
You know? And so I noticed that, and I noticed how they started separating a lot of people. And so from there on, actually in college I asked this Italian dude, John Forsythe. So I said, man, can you groom me from speech to attire to all that? Because one day this lady came in, she was like, who is this guy? He's always dressed up. He's always in a suit, always in a nice jump. So I was like, damn, I want somebody to come in and be like, who is you? But I don't remember your name. But I know what you how you dress.
Yeah, you remember how I presented myself.
Yes, there you go. Thank you. That was perfect.
Yeah.
And so I was like, dang, I like that. So he had a stack of Joseph A. books, Joseph A. Bank books. He said, just look on, don't like styles, just focus on the colors. Once you get the colors you like, you'll put everything else together. That helped me notice the different doors that was presented more so at that point in time. And then Montgomery College is where Miss Edwards was. So she said, and she never, my fault, I was about to actually do her voice, I didn't mean to do that with it. She said she never loans her book out, right? And so she said, Perry, I'm gonna give you my book. So she gave me her book, American Lit, and next week came for class, she passed away. So I had this book, just sitting in my room, just sitting and just, the memories there, so I just read. Like I said, my mother went to college Rosario to learn English. And so I was like, you know what? Let me just dominate this area in some sort. So I wanted to be a professor at Professor American Lit. I wanted to be what she was. So I just started studying, started reading, and started noticing the differences from there. So I really don't remember the origin of your question right now, but I just know.
And who impacted your life?
Oh, I thought that's so right there.
Yeah.
My grandmother said education
Those
because
three
my grandmother was a slave in Colombia, and so she didn't get education. You know what I'm saying? My mother always wanted to be a nurse. She didn't get the opportunity. So her wanting to heal and learn in that nature as a mother, you know, opened my eyes. And so I was like, those two women put that in my head early.
Absolutely.
And then I noticed I didn't want to be left out in the cold from just society. And then when that young lady passed away, I said, man, I got to do her some justice. And then, you know, my kids are emulating some things from there.
Mhm.
You know, so it just, they influenced me, so I wanted to influence some other people from there. So I'll say those 3 women.
I like that, man. I like that.
I'm gonna take a pause real quick too.
Yeah, man.
For that, to kind of like shit, like, you know, put a spotlight on that for, you know, this is just for you, for women that are watching, right? Especially our young women, young mothers and stuff. You see how, you know, y'all influences really do matter as well, you know, on these young boys that's coming up, and the young girls too. So y'all just need to be mindful of that, especially, you know, the men too. Y'all be mindful, because, you know, we're influencers. People, you know, people are watching us. Kids are watching us. But definitely women, like y'all the first teachers, man.
So,
keep that in mind.
So to add to that, I agree with you 100%. And even if the parties aren't on the same bridge plane, that support system of a bridge should still be apparent.
Absolutely.
Regardless of the energy, you know what I'm saying, it's still a bridge that needs to be put together there. So I think a support system for these women,
Yes.
or these men.
Let's take care of our women.
Yeah.
I
I already know what you was thinking when I saw you just there.
Yeah,
Man, that junk was just sitting there. Hey man, I turned, I see your eyes.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
I know what you're thinking already.
Yeah. Listen, man, that's real talk, man. You got to take care of the woman, man. Take care of the woman that want to be taken care of. I say that, you know, so.
In the
that's
right
main
way,
thing, in
too,
the right way,
man.
you know what I'm saying? But, man, he had a good point, man. Period.
Yes.
Oh, like, women are our first teachers, man. Your mother's your first teacher, man. That's the one you grow that bondage to, that attachment to from the womb, you know? So, yeah, man, most definitely, I definitely agree with that. So, take care of people that want to be taken care of, you know? So, yeah. So, let me ask you this question, man, because you got a lot of wisdom, man. You got a lot of information, man, you know? And so, I want to ask you this, man. Like, you know, your siblings. So, you only got one brother, Barry, right?
And I have a sister as well.
Okay, your brother and sister. That the relationship with them, you're the oldest.
No, she's the oldest.
She the oldest. Okay, cool. So talk about, you know, being a middle child. How was your relationship with them growing up? Because sometimes when you got siblings, man, you know, it be a whole lot going on, man. You know what I'm saying? How was that relationship with them growing up, man?
I would say not a motion picture. You know what I'm saying? Again, we all got to find our place and where we fit in. You know what I'm saying? And being middle, you get put in your place at times. And as far as Burry, I think I wanted to oversee or protect more of him than I got. You know, I would say from her. And but again, that becomes an unbalance if you take again that not negative and positive. So the charge was between that. We all love each other. You know what I'm saying? And it goes back to your early thing as far as like compassion and love or belief in it. We define what that measurement is, and I think that we all came to a conclusion of what that measurement of where and how far I love you.
Right.
So, to answer your question, I would say, man, everybody cool.
Right. Okay, I love that. I love that. Yeah, so
I like your choice. I'm gonna say I just like your choice of words. He said it's not an emotional picture.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
that's
the
real, man.
It's the
Like,
real deal.
most
Holyfield.
people sit there, look at the TV,
Well, he-
think a family supposed to be that way.
For sure. Like
Well,
the
he's-
Cosby family.
Well, he said something to me one day, and it threw me off for a second. He was like, "You treat me like everybody else." I think this was early. I think he was 13 maybe, or maybe later on than that. He's like, "You treat me like everybody else." I was confused. So I was like, shit, you getting away with a lot of shit right now. A lot of people wouldn't be able to get away with, you know? So I didn't get it. But then, again, staying on the same topic of depression, love, anxiety, relationships, we all don't pay attention to that at an early age.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We on the go, moving, developing, creating. So we don't put too much attention to what we appreciate later on. Yeah.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah,
put too
for
much
sure,
attention to
for
the
sure.
things we appreciate later on. What they say, like you won't appreciate it till it's gone, or once it's not
Take it from you.
in that right in front of you.
For sure.
And for me, just, you know what I'm saying, because I don't share, so I'll say this, since that balance, as you said, since we lost so much, and a lot of my memories are that,
Yeah, for sure. I get what you're saying. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Right.
So yeah, man.
listen,
Go ahead.
no, so I just want to share that, a lot of people talk about mental health. And,
Go ahead, do that, man. Do that. Yeah.
There's a lot of ways that shit can just pull you, whether it be spiritual, analytical, logistical, physical, astronomical, shit, literal. And I think that's a space that you gotta be conscious of, and everyone around you has to be conscious. Like, you gotta communicate that. Like say you're a neuron in my mind, you're a neuron in my mind. Like, I communicate with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that a lot of people, communication is hard. A lot of people want to hear themselves. That's why when you guys ask the questions, like, I hear you at the moment, and I'll take your answer, and I'll answer it, but then I forget your question. So I'm hearing you, and just to answer that specifically, but then it takes me on tangents, because everything is connected to other shit.
Yeah.
And so I just want to say I apologize when I'm doing that.
I be doing that.
That's
Oh,
the
wow.
real.
You can say that.
That's the real.
Hey,
That's
go
the
up and
real.
do that, bro.
Yes, you do.
he call it rambling.
Yeah.
Rambling.
tweaking.
Oh no, nigga, I don't ramble.
No, no, the reason why I say that, because I want people, like, sometimes, like, because I ain't gonna lie, I watch a lot of, like, public speakers, and so sometimes you gotta just get your point across, because people have short attention span, so you attack them right there in the first 30 seconds, you get them. And so instead of keep talking, because the more you start talking, the more you start talking about other things, then, you start forgetting the topic, you know what I'm saying?
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, so why you don't agree with that?
'Cause let me say something first.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people just expressing it.
Yeah, so when people saying feelings, I don't listen. I feel, I think.
Yeah, right. He fucked a note.
Yeah, I ain't trying to. I ain't give you my 25 cents for that right there. But also, which was pretty cool, was somebody told me, he said, man, if you read so much, you're taking all this information, you have these conversations and stuff. Make sure that it's you that's speaking, opposed to the author or the poet or the artist or whoever that you're retaining all this information from. And that goes back to meditating. You taking the time for yourself to sit across from you, have these conversations, to appreciate that you actually even still here. It goes back to what we see in front of us. So me being cool is realizing that I have another opportunity, to be a better person, to be a stronger person, to be a more elaborate person, more inspirational person, regardless of what's created in front of us, man. Because it's a lot of bullshit in front of us, and I think the one thing that again hesitates us and holds us back is the idea of losing a memory, losing a loved one, losing time, because if you keep going forward, man, without thinking about that shit that you're losing, you alright. You alright. You can tell you alright from all that you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and every time you smile about it, which is a cool fucking thing, because a lot of kids, as you see, man, they buck a U-turn.
I'm telling you, they don't recover, man. They just go right down that path. For sure.
But also getting out of here too. Like say if you take your podcast to another city or to another country.
We already we already had took it to
Yeah,
another city.
we did that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so
Yes,
you used to
sir.
still moving fast, right? We still moving fast, right? That was like the first couple episodes we did that. Pew, you know.
That was
so-
back in August.
Yeah,
August
about
5th,
August 5th. Yeah, that was a Friday. Yeah, we drove there and drove back.
to North Carolina.
For sure.
Oh yeah. You did say that on
Yeah.
North
My old
Carolina.
Sally,
Yeah, for sure.
My old Sally, he trained me how to box, and like you know, he was
Shout
one
out
of my like you know, he still is. I could call him any day, and you know, he gonna chop it up with me and talk to me. But we used to spend a lot of time, you know, in the cell together, and like just used to talk to him. You know, just share wisdom with me and like share the wisdom that his father passed on to him. You know, and I used to admire that shit.
For sure.
I used to admire like he's 50-something years old, and his father was such a great man in the sense that man, you're 50, you know, your son 50-something year old still like
Remember all that stuff.
and admires you, like you know, honors
For
you.
sure. For
That's
sure.
amazing, bro.
For sure.
You know, that's amazing.
For sure.
That's
Man.
that's honorable.
I want to piggyback on what you said actually just now by him sharing. I thought it was a pretty cool thing. Like you said, how about growing up in Adams Morgan? You hear shit, you know, you learn a lot of stuff too, especially proverbs and sayings, whether it be in Spanish or whether it be in any other language.
Yeah.
But you know, the one thing I thought was pretty cool, where he said Africans when they go by when an elder dies, it's like a library just got burned down. Because of how you said that, you know what I'm saying? You chat with your man, he bless you with wisdom, you know what I'm
Sure.
saying? And some form of influence there. When I used to travel early, when you said I was moving around, wherever I would go, as you know, you can't ask too many people here, you know, what you think. So when I would travel, bro, I would just meet older gentlemen, and I would just say, just random, I say, whenever you met you at 30, what would you tell yourself? You know, everywhere I would go, I would just ask that until I got tired of asking these old dudes. So I'm at a grocery store, and I'll be like, oh, I like your shoes, man, that's pretty cool. Start talking, like, what would you tell you at 30? You know what I'm saying? I just collect all their thoughts from there. And that's another way of kind of looking back and not beating myself up that this didn't get done, this didn't get done. Because I'm seeing older folks doing stuff or just being cool with what they did because that's the best they could do at that point in time, or as much as they could do. So like, don't rush, don't beat yourself up, don't put yourself in that depression or anxiety stage, because we have examples in front of us. You know what I mean? Just follow, you know, or do it better. You know what I'm saying? But just know should be no pressure. Should be no pressure.
For sure.
But yeah.
For sure. I like that, man. So, what's up, Marathon? The question, man. Gotta ask your question. You know, I won't even answer
Yes,
it. Ask the question.
I
I'm sorry.
love how you remind me of this thing every time. Legacy, 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 legacy. Mr. Bagwell. I mean, I could tell you're doing a lot with yourself as a person, just how you elaborate yourself, that's how you talk, you know what I'm saying? You're not just any type of
for
guy,
Sure.
you know what
I'm
I'm
not gonna say anything.
So you know, I just want you to let our viewers know, like, the legacy that you're building and that you want to leave behind for anybody that you touched in this life. The people that you're going to touch right here.
For sure.
All right.
Talk to him candidly.
So, as you said, my name is Perry Bagwell, and as you know, our names are given, our locations are plotted, our history and their history is pretty much already set, right? So I'm at this point. I got this canvas with all this paint on it, so I'm just going to remix it to my habitat. So what I came to learn about marketing, advertising, all these last names, products and things of that nature. One thing I noticed, just us as a people, we want to find our character.
Yes.
Regardless of who we are, where we are, we want to find our character, right? A lot of us believe in majority of one entity. Some people will have he has 1,000 names, but let's just say God for just a general plural view. So to answer your question, man, my legacy, I kind of base it off just all of this history, right? And I look at the last name and marketing, advertisement, Gatorade, use the letter G, right? All these connotations from years, you're gonna see where I'm coming. So watch this. Say the first 3 letters of my last name. Just say the first 3 letters.
B-A-G.
You hear that? Now we know that connotation just growing up, right? B-A-G.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I like that.
So-
B-A-G. Yeah.
So it's just like what's the last word?
Well,
B-A-G, well, right? But then goes into your character, right? And so I tell my kids, just be a God well. You know what I'm saying? Just whatever God you choose, just be that.
Well.
Correct. So my legacy is to show them how much I found and create. And then you can go from there and find and create.
continue building on that road.
Right, yeah. So I would say that. On the yellow brick road, just keep painting that motherfucker up as much as you can with all the colors and information. And I would say that will be my legacy. Starting, because I'm not able to start from scratch. I'm kind of starting from a canvas. I already got everything
Absolutely.
on it.
I like that.
So yeah.
Phenomenal, G. Phenomenal.
B-A-G.
But I had to find out what all this though, Irish, Moroccan, Ecuadorian, Colombian, Indian, just so we all this whole spectrum.
For sure.
So I just took that and just said, let's just put it in one right there.
For sure. Hey P, man, like you did a phenomenal job tonight, man.
We.
I'm gonna say we. But I'm gonna say this though, man, because we talked. Me, you, and Mike on the phone, Mr. Honest, and you was like, I don't want to be on the camera. So I'm like, what you gonna do with that? You know what I'm saying? So he don't want to be on the camera. So I'm like, how you gonna do it? You know what I'm saying?
He want to stand back.
He want to stand behind.
And
And I'm like, hold on, that don't work like that. People gotta see you, man, so they could feel you. So when they see you, they feel you even more. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So I want to say you, man, commend you for just coming on here, just expressing yourself and just, sharing the wisdom, the knowledge, and information that you have, because there's going to be many people that's going to see this. This might be one of their favorite interviews. They always say, this is my favorite interview. But this one was really a gem, man. And so I want you to continue to do what you do. We hope you come back on here because you got more information. We want more out of you. You feel what I'm saying? So listen, man, this is the real, and we don't do nothing but keep it real on here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, for sure. So yeah, man. And this is another episode of The Real. Let's get to it.
If you're not on the real, you're not real.
There you go. Bam.